The respected Asa Keisar is an Israeli religious scholar who's on a mission of spreading veganism all across Israel and the world. Strong in his dedication and compassion for all God's creatures, Asa Keisar is a frequent lecturer in universities, elementary and high schools, and yeshivot, Jewish educational religious institutions, throughout Israel. His speeches feature statements from the Holy Torah about the incorrectness of consuming animal products, especially in our modern world. Asa Keisar's courageous message is reaching millions of people daily, not only in Israel but also globally, as some of his talks have earned tremendous attention on the internet. Mr. Keisar is also the author of an important Jewish guide, In Front of the Blind, or Vilifni Iver Hashalem. The book is a collection of excerpts from the Torah, prophets, Mishneh Torah, Talmud, as well as from the Gaonim, Rishonim, and Achronim, which include Jewish spiritual leaders and religious legal scholars from the past and present. Through straightforward holy laws, the selection clearly shows how humans must treat all animals, namely with care and mercy. In Front of the Blind, caring reminder comes during this urgent time when animals more than ever need our protection and love. Mr. Asa Keisar is a Shining World Hero Award recipient to whom Supreme Master Thanh Hải contributed $25,000 to humbly support his noble work. Supreme Master Thanh Hải is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy, and or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for His compassion and love toward His precious children. We'll now read excerpts from Mr. Keisar's book In Front of the Blind, or Vilifni Iver Hashalem. The following texts focus on the correct treatment of animals and reveal some of the numerous negative consequences incurred by those who harm our precious co-inhabitants. This sharing of information is unto itself a mitzvah or commandment, for it is warning others of serious transgressions. God will not prevent good from those who walk in purity. One must also have mercy upon animals, because it is forbidden to cause undue pain or anguish to an animal. The attribute of mercy is the sign of the children of Abraham, the seed of Israel. As it is written, He will give you mercy, be merciful, and multiply you. From the book of Genesis, we learn that man was forbidden to eat flesh. And God said, Behold, I have given you every seed-bearing herb, which is upon the surface of the entire earth, and every tree that has seed-bearing fruit, it will be yours for food. And to all the beasts or animals of the earth, and to all the fowl of the heavens, and to everything that moves upon the earth, in which there is a living spirit, every green herb to eat. And it was so. Rabbi Joseph Albo, aside from the intensive cruelty and anger involved in killing an animal, one accustoms themselves to the negative behavior of freely spilling blood. The consumption of flesh from living creatures gives birth to spiritual corpulence, murkiness, and inflexibility of the soul. Harav Abarbanel. Therefore, at the beginning of creation, when man was only allowed to consume vegetation and drink water, their lifespan was longer. But when humans started to eat meat and drink wine, lifespans shrunk until where we are today. Man's receiving nourishment from vegetation is good and very appropriate, whereas eating meat is quite the opposite. It brings out hot, boiling, red blood. It inclines one to cruelty, anger, and overcoming another with malice and making one rancid. God's desire was to straighten the path of the first man, to direct him in righteousness and have him reach fulfillment. Therefore, he commanded him to take nourishment from vegetation, which are wholesome, from fruits and vegetation, but not to eat meat. The Malbim. At the time of the creation, God did not give carnivorous animals permission to tear into living creatures and eat them. Therefore, in the future, when the world will be repaired, both the lion and cattle will eat straw. Man, similarly, was not permitted to eat meat. Researchers have shown that humans are not designed to eat meat, as we can see from the construction of our teeth and molars. Vegetarian animals by their nature are sustained by vegetation, and many people in India live from fruits and are of gentler nature. We will quote our rabbis' words reflecting on this mitzvah or precept and the degree to which it must be observed. Since animals cannot speak, we will bring the words of our rabbis, specifying precisely what causes an animal to be in anguish. The Torah forbids subjecting an animal to undue anguish. The commandment forbidding causing suffering to an animal, Za'ar Ba'alei Hayim, is a Torah commandment. Causing undue suffering to an animal is a Torah prohibition, and this is the opinion of the Rosh, Rif, Rabbab, as well as the majority of Rishonim, or leading rabbis, and Achronim, or Jewish legal deciders. One is obliged to take a loss, to feed one's animal, in addition to the other commandments regarding animals, for the purpose of preventing Za'ar Ba'alei Hayim, or suffering of living creatures. It is forbidden to transgress any of these commandments for the sake of monetary gain. The Chazam Sofer has written in Yorek Diach, or compilation of Jewish laws. It is clear that we should be strict not to cause Za'ar Ba'alei Hayim, and all agree one cannot be lenient. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, ZTL, or May the memory of the righteous one be a blessing, has written, one may not subject an animal to undue pain and suffering, for this is forbidden. We see one is not given free rein to give it, the animal, pain. It is forbidden to feed an animal things it does not wish to consume, for this is subjecting it to discomfort with regard to its food, and they can suffer with disease and sickness as a result. The Malbim states, the tzaddik, or righteous, is one who acts with righteousness. Not only do they act righteously with human beings, but also towards the animals. They know an animal's nature to give it food at the appropriate times, for these too are the laws of wisdom and righteousness. As it is written in the Torah, I will give grass in the fields for your animals, and afterwards is it written, and you will eat and be sated. From this sequence we learn the prohibition of subjecting animals to undue anguish is a Torah law. This halakhic from Jewish religious laws and philosophical stances are of the grades of Israel in their respective generation. Rashi: a righteous person knows the nature of his animal or animal in his care, specifically what his animal requires. Rashi: man and his wife were not permitted to kill any living thing and eat meat, but they could eat all vegetation. Mitzudat David: the righteous person pays attention even to the needs of their animal to fulfill its craving, because God greatly values mercy. Compassionate viewers, we appreciate your kind presence on today's Words of Wisdom.